Good day, folks. Today on the bench I'm going to tie you up a Yuk Bug. Here's a fly that's been around for many years. I'm sure it originated for fishing rivers, and I've also seen guys show up at a lake that I knew quite well, and these fellows were tagging a lot of trout in there and did very well, and they were fishing a Yuk Bug. I went over and had to ask them because they were out fishing everybody on there. So a lot of times these old favorites, they kind of get forgotten about or whatever. There's just so many good flies and new flies out there. We all try and we forget about some of these old standbys, and we get caught. So let's go over the materials we need to tie the fly. Start, I'm going to use a Daiichi 2220 size 10. This is just a streamer hook. I'm going to use some speckled crystal chenille for the body. It's a medium gold olive, but you can change your colors. The original is black with white legs, but this is a nice coloration. The tail, I'm going to use some squirrel tail. The legs, we're going to use here's some silly legs. I got actually some kind of a metal flake appearance to them there. That's kind of a nice buggy looking product. I'm going to use some dry fly hackle. We're going to use some more of the webby hackle in the back here for this fly, so it's nice and soft. We'll use some gold wire to reinforce it with. We'll also use some 020 lead to weight the fly. So let's get and then also I want to use some small bean cone heads here in black, and that'll help get it down. If you're fishing rivers, you can drift this fly along. A little bit of a stone fly type setup. The legs kick along, move quite nicely. The original pattern, I believe, sometimes I've seen it tied with the rubber legs for the tailing, and also the squirrel for the tail. So I'll use a squirrel, I kind of like that. So I got my cone head on there, and I'm just going to lay a lead down here. Cover nearly most of the shank up with lead. Push that up, hold the cone in place. Doesn't slide back. We'll get some good wraps of our 6/0 black thread in behind here. Come to our tie-in position above the point, or the point of the barb. Now we'll get some of our squirrel tail. Cut a little bit off. Clean out a little bit of the underfur. There's not a lot of underfur on here. We just clean it up a little bit. Put it into our stacker. Line those tips up. And there we go. The tail's going to be a little longer than about half the shank length, I would say. It's really slippery. Get a few good turns, just kind of stop it from sliding around too much. I want to trim it so it's near the lead. It's got a bit of a longer tail, not too bad. It's got nice markings. I think that's what contributes a lot to it. Get some of our gold wire at the back. Some patterns don't call for the wire. This just reinforces everything. It makes everything a little stronger, and like take a little extra time, gives flies a little extra durability. We'll just get that wire out of the way. Come in with some of our chenille. Tie that in at the back. Then I'll come in midpoint here. Take a couple of our strands of rubber. And I'll just double that over again. So it's about even, fairly close. And we'll take one of our legs, tie it in here at the right midpoint. I'm just going to kind of exit on. You're not going to get, just as long as it's attached, we can manipulate where the legs go, and we start running our chenille forward. You can put more legs on here or less. I don't like too many. This way I like to do it, just a couple legs on it. Another set of legs back here, about a quarter back from the eye. Okay, now those are all tied in, so I'll just going to take just one turn with my bob in there just to hold them out of the way. I'm going to wrap my chenille forward here, midpoint where my first legs are tied in. Then I'll let go of my legs. See the one leg there now? Okay, I'm just going to come in over the top. That splits my leg. Pull it back. Then I've pretty much got it hanging out the side where I want. I'm working my way forward. Now I'm going to come over the top, the front leg. Pull it over where I want it, and then get a couple more turns in behind there. Make sure I don't cut my legs off when I cut my chenille off. But you can see the legs are coming off the side quite nicely. And then now we'll bring in our hackle, and this is a dry fly saddle. I'll come in with a little bit more of the webbier at the back. The back here's a lot webbier. We don't want it really too dry fly quality. Something soft. I'll pinch off a good stem there and tie that in behind the cone head. Pinch off the butt. I'm just going to take a couple turns there. Now I'm going to get into that first leg. I got to get it in behind it. Just take your time when you're winding them. You won't wind anything down. Everything will find its own way through there. Now we just wind it to the rear. Nice soft grizzly hackle. Now when I get to the back, I'm just going to catch it off with my wire. I'm going to reverse wrap that forward. Make sure I don't catch anything down. Take a little time to weave it through. And that just will make it a lot easier when you're out on the water catching lots of fish. You don't have to tie on another one after the fish chew it up. That wire is going to make it last all day long. Durability is really the key. Then I'm just going to get a whip finish in behind the cone, and we'll drop some head cement in there as well. Cut that right off. So then trim it up. Just get all the legs kind of even. I don't make sure they're not stretched, and then I just give them an even haircut, and they're all the same length. And they're coming off the side quite nice, as you can see. And they kick along in the water just beautiful. That's a buggy looking little rascal right there, and it turns a lot of fish on. I'll tell you that. It's a fly that I overlooked for years, and I'm going to wrap a bunch of these up and take to the lakes and the rivers with me again. This is one I used to use, and it's just got forgotten about. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you again real soon on Sports Fishing on the Fly on the bench, and we appreciate all you folks coming to watch. Thank you.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca, and if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.